We are the Great Unwashed.
Welcome, everyone, to Great Unwashed, a podcast for the 99%. I'm your host, Ian Mack. Today's quote comes from the great Mike Tyson. Everyone has a plan until you get punched in the face. And with that, I'd like to introduce my guest for today, Azure Maravilla.
Ooh, that is I. Yes.
Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Thank you guys for having me.
Of course. So, dude, I've been ever since you came to Lola's with Garvey, and you started kind of getting back in.
Mm-hmm.
So you did what, 10 minutes that night?
Yeah.
Just like fresh off the bench?
Yeah, I literally,
bench?
because I didn't have a full set because it was like maybe like a couple weeks since I've been starting to do comedy. I literally wrote my set right before I got on it. It's really well. So.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing to me because if I don't go up there with at least some sort of plan, like you try to you kind of I don't know, you work in the things for like open mics, but for shows coming in with fresh content.
Well, because like I'm like the way that I do my comedy, I'm not so like none of my sets, if I ever listen to them either like on a show or a mic, have never sounded the same because I don't write my jokes word for word. Like I'll come up with a premise. Yeah. And then I'll kind of just see how it goes in open mics. Mm-hmm. And then on a show, I'll just wing it. Like all of my jokes, I'm kind of just riffing. Yeah. And that's just how I do it. Like I know a lot of people who go like write like word for word. They memorize like all that. Like my memory is not good because I'm stupid. So like for me, it's always been like, I kind of just see what happens. Yeah. It's either going to be good or bad, and you kind of just figure that out. Like, I'll always record my sets, like, on voice memo, kind of just hear where the laughs pick up. But, yeah, like, sometimes, like, on a show, I'll just come up with something on the fly, and then it'll crush. I'm like, oh, I just pulled that out of my ass. I'm like, that's good. Like, good for me, you know?
I'm trying to tell these new guys, record everything.
You have to.
Always, just so you can hear where the laughs are. You can hear where they need, like, and you remember the crowd members that were with you when you're, like, that were like, oh, shit, they were, like, connected.
Absolutely.
So, like, you kind of remember how that type of crowd works with the delivery and the punchline or whatever. And sometimes you have to kind of, like, cut out some of the stuff, cut out some fat or whatever.
I think that's also like the biggest thing is like the reason why none of my sets are the same is because I'm always trying to read the room the best that I can. Yeah. And if you consistently do the same exact jokes with the same exact way that you do them, you're basically cutting yourself off from being able to like attack that specific room. Cause like you could have so many different types of people in one spot and your jokes could be great for everybody, but just depending on how you say it that one specific time can make or break your show.
Yeah. 100%. 100% agree. You just have those off nights and everybody eats a
bag of dicks.
Yeah, a bag of dicks, like at least once. At least once a month.
I don't know.
If you're doing it consistently.
I feel like I haven't eaten a bag of dicks in a long time. I'm like really proud of myself. Yeah. I'll just suck a dick because I feel like it. But like that's a big difference, Not like a burlap sack full of weird dicks, that you got to eat for dinner.
All right.
Weird dicks.
Weird dicks. Weird bag of dicks. A bag of weird.
Yeah.
Are we talking?
When was the last time you had? When was the last time you consumed a bag of dicks?
Consumed. I feel like it was like Christmas time one time. It's just a season. It's just like a bag of dicks.
It's in your stocking. It was a stocking full of dicks.
Yeah, it was a stocking stuffer. Am I right?
Folks.
So like a year.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, it's been a while.
Pretty good. Pretty good, man.
Yeah. When was the last time you bombed?
Oh, I honestly don't remember.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, honestly, like, the last time I bombed, it's been a long time. And I can't, like, because I've definitely had sets where, like, some jokes didn't land, but, like, a whole bomb. I don't think I've had that since, like, maybe my first month doing comedy.
Sweet.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
Because, like, for me, personally, like, I know my strong suits in comedy are, like, I'm the type of person that, like, you want on your show to bring that energy back in. And for people to start, like, because I'm loud. I'm really loud. I'm aggressive to crowds.
Yeah.
And like I like being loud for a very specific reason. It's because psychologically, if you could hear me for the like first 5 seconds, that means that you're gonna decide if you want to continue to listen. So if I'm super loud in the first 5 seconds, that means that like everything else is drowned out and you have to pay attention.
Yeah.
So like for me, that's like my strategy. And like I love it because like a lot of my friends would be like, I want you to go before me because this is a dead room and I need you to bring them back and set me up. And I'm like, I got you.
Yeah. I feel like if somebody goes up there and eats said bag of dicks before me and they just completely bomb, it's as long as if they don't walk the room, if they don't walk everybody, then there's this opportunity to
bring them back.
To bring them back. And you can bring them back. You can say a little something about the set. You don't want to like berate the comic before you and be like, "What the fuck was that?" But you can be like, and hit him with a couple quick punches.
Yeah. But also, like as your job as a comedian, if you walk the room, I will shit on you. Like like that's what you get. You know what I mean? Like you just lost me the audience, dude. Like what are you doing? You know. And if you can't do it's like an actual job, like it's work. Like if you can't do your job, please quit or like go home and like maybe read a book about how to be better at your job or something. Like ask someone for advice.
I would say do it more and just do it more in front of just diverse audiences all over the place. And then that's what really like I think I don't know, just being able to go and work in Wichita Falls, Texas in a barbecue joint. And then being able to go to an all-black room and stuff 6.
And like it's such different like concepts too. Cause like I've done like one of my favorite shows that I've ever done. It was a shit show, honestly. But one of my favorite shows that I ever did, it was a biker / vet show.
Sweet.
So it was just like super hard room, all these people felt really entitled to talk. So everybody, like literally everyone before me either couldn't finish their set or like lost all their energy and were just like mumbling the rest of their set.
Ugh.
So like by the time I got up, I was just taking notes on all the people that were heckling. I got on, roasted those people the moment they talked, and then throughout the night, like everybody was able to do their set. Like I finished. I was like, there's no fucking way that I drove all this way just to like not hear my own voice. So and that was really fun. And like, it was, and like people get really afraid to like be honest with the room.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, there's always ways that you can do it in a fun way where you're not like aggressively hurting people like in the audience.
Yeah.
Because after that, like the people that I like targeted that were heckling so much, like they literally came up to me and they're like, "Oh my God, you're like the best of the night," because I was the only one that had the balls to be like, "Shut the fuck up and like stop talking. You're actually boring. Yeah. Like stop."
One of my favorite things to do is to be like, I was like, "Hey guys, the check's already cleared. I got paid for this already. In fact, I spent half of it on gas to get here. You don't want to talk? The rest of it's probably on booze. So whatever. I'm just gonna sit here until,
But yeah,
just
like,
hang out until they shut the fuck up."
Well, because I know some comedians that literally can't deal with hecklers. Like I
make
like
fun of what they're wearing.
Yeah, like and there's always ways that you can do it. Like you shouldn't be afraid to do that, because you're literally there to be listened to. And if like this is an audience that won't let you do that, then like what are you doing? It's a waste of time. But I know some people that like if you heckled them, they just kept going and it was sad to watch. Yeah.
I did that show I was talking about in Wichita Falls. That was an actual show, but actually it turned out to be a packed fucking show. We were doing it on a dance floor, but there were like it was like 120 people in there.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I was like, that was a decent crowd, dude. It's like, dang, this is pretty great. So the laughs really come through on the recording, and that's what really matters.
Yeah, that's like the most important part,
Yeah, just like playing with the staff. I was like, anybody like psychedelics? And the guy that was behind the light board was like, "Woo!" I was like, of course the guy behind the lights is. That's all he does.
If you didn't psychedelics and you're playing with lights, I'm like, what are you doing with your life? It's super weird that you chose this career.
Yeah. He's like, don't tell nobody. I was like, everybody knows.
Yeah,
bro.
we all heard you.
we know, dude. Yeah, it's fun. So, what's the weirdest place that you've ever done comedy? Oh wait, was that the vet? Was that you think the vet show?
No, I don't think that's the weirdest place. I'm trying to think. The most weird place that I've ever done comedy. Let me think. Like I haven't done like any crazy. I think the worst show that I've ever done, like the weirdest thing, it was like at this random bar.
Called Lola's.
No, I don't even know where it was. Honestly, like it was years ago. They also had karaoke night that night, and they were finishing up a football game, so the show was delayed.
The odds were stacked against
Yeah, it was
you.
horrible. Like the show was delayed. Nobody was paying attention because everyone was so shit faced, and all they wanted to do was like do karaoke. And like the way that they set up the show, it was like everybody got basically 2 sets. Like you had 10 minutes total, but you had 5 minutes in the beginning. And then like later on you had another 5. It was so bizarre. And like, yeah, this is like some of the first months I started doing shows. So like I wasn't the best. Right. But that room taught me like get your shit together. You know what I mean? Like cuz I wasn't as polished. Right. And like after I left, cuz like like a lot of comedians would be like, "Oh, it was the room. Like the room sucked." I'm like, "Yeah, like sometimes you have a shitty room." But
that's one of those unwritten rules is
it's like it doesn't matter with the room.
Don't blame the room.
Yeah. So like I left there being like, "Okay, like I know that there was like it was kind of shitty. Like the room was like not the best, but I needed to be more on point cuz maybe they would have listened better, you know?"
If it's like one of those like super intimate like end of the night kind of sets at an open mic, I'll bring that energy down a little bit just to I don't know. It's just kind of play with that a little bit, but that's just with super intimate stuff. Go sit with them at the table and just do table comedy.
Oh my god, yeah. I mean like a couple weeks ago, I actually, because sometimes I pick up gigs for like random shows, so they wanted me to MC a burlesque show. So I was like introducing the girls, whatever. Like I didn't really have a script. Like I got there and they told me like what was going on. I was like, all right, like I'll improv it. Like it'll be fine. Did a great job. And at one point, one of the girls had to we're taking a little bit longer to get into her outfit because she just performed. She needed an outfit change. And they're like, okay, like we need you to vamp a little bit. I was like, okay, like you guys know I'm a stand-up comedian, right? Like, do you want me to just start telling jokes? They're like, yeah, for sure. And then I just like went with like my raunchiest joke. About like, is it hard for you to pretend to choke on a small dick? And then like the crowd thought that was really funny. And I didn't even get to finish the joke because the girl got ready in time. Yeah. But that was really funny because it was at House of Blues. And I also mentioned how I used to work at House of Blues and how one time, one of my tables, I found some woman getting eaten out. And that was like the craziest story I've ever had at a restaurant. Like the straight up.
Just getting the lickety lay down right there at the table.
It was so funny because like it was so we were having this a fundraiser for an elementary school. So like it was clearly for like a rich ass elementary school. So like all the parents, are like in their 50s because like they had surrogates. Like Highland Park type of parents. Yeah. And the theme for the party was 60s theme. So it was like a bunch of bad wigs and like a lot of like paisley and chest hair like glued on. Sweet. And so like they had the party, they came back up for the after party and like, I had my tables and there's like curtains on some of the tables and I walk by and I'm like, why is this curtain closed like this? Like this is not supposed to be here. And I see some lady's leg on the table and I was like, what the fuck is going on? I was like, do I need to call someone? Like, is someone fucked up? Like, what's going on? And then I see some dude's head between her legs and I'm like, oh my God. And like, I wasn't like, no, ew, gross. They weren't hot enough. Okay. Right. No, but like, I don't shame anybody for public sex. Like, as long as like, but you have to understand that like when you get caught, like that's kind of part of the repercussions of your actions. You know what I mean? Like, so they got caught and the guy was so shit-faced. I'm gonna guess coked up too because he had like strength for no reason and like started like beating the shit out of the bouncer. And like the bouncer was like this big ass dude, but he was like in his 60s. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, dude, like calm the fuck down. Like you got caught, get over yourself. Like just walk out like a grown up. You know what I mean? And like, he's shit faced, the woman's shit faced. They start escorting him out and the woman's just like, oh my God, stop. Like be careful. That's my husband. And then, like that's my husband. Stop. And then like in the background, this is my favorite part. Cause like, and this is my favorite part about it. In the background, there was like some lady who screams, "That's your ex-husband!" And I lost my shit, dude. And like I wasn't even pissed off about the situation. I was just upset because I had to clean that table. You know what I mean? Like that's rude.
Yeah, yeah, that's rude. At least go to the bathroom.
That's literally what I said.
Yeah.
I was like, I have fucked in public so many times, so many random places. But if I got caught, I'd be like, you know what? I'm so sorry. That's on me, guys. I apologize.
Sorry, my hormones are
I'm like a 13-year-old boy. I couldn't wait the 20-minute drive. I apologize, But some people just don't know how to take accountability for their sexcapades. And that's adulthood. Get your shit together.
Get your shit together.
Yeah.
So you said earlier off mic that you've done lots and lots of things, that you're an artist, not just a comedian, a very hilarious comedian.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
But you've also been a professional singer, and you paint and draw and do lots of artwork, and those are all very interesting things.
Yeah.
When did you start? When did you start singing?
So I started like all artistic things I started doing from like a really young age. So I loved singing when I was like a kid. So I would sing all the time, and like my parents thought I was so annoying because I would just sing everything. Like I'd be that one girl in your class, like in elementary school, that would just like out of nowhere just start singing shit, and people would be like, "Shut the fuck up," And that was always me.
Yeah, that chick was usually my friend.
Yeah. That was me. Clearly I always wanted attention.
You?
Me? No, I'm crazy. But yeah, like I've just always loved, the way of like creating things. I loved singing because like it really helped me kind of like put things in my life into perspective and kind of give me an outlet. And like back in New York, like I used to help run the music department in my high school. So I was like the rock club, like rock and roll president.
Yeah. Rock and roll president.
Yeah, rock and roll, baby, president. Yeah.
Rock and roll president.
Yeah, like JFK.
New York City.
But yeah, and like I met a lot of cool people doing that. And like when I was in high school, I used to help throw like underground basement shows too. And like this is all when I was super young. So like, that would always be me. I'm like the type of person I like to be active in whatever I'm doing. So I started doing that from a really young age. And like painting and everything, I would say like that was the first art form I ever came up with. Because like I never did homework. Like why would I? So when I would get home from school, I would just start like drawing or doing stuff like that because I didn't give a shit about the things I was learning. Which is super good for people. Definitely take my advice, guys. If there's any kids listening to this, you're welcome. This is what your future looks like. It's not very bright. But
Something. Oh.
Yeah, but like I definitely love the scene in Dallas though. Like there's a lot of new comedians though that like I feel like COVID really forced people to like try new things. And in the solitude of your mind, like you think that you're funnier than you are. And then people start doing comedy, you're like, what the fuck? Like you're like, oh shit. Like you've been here for a year and this is the level that you're at. That's interesting.
I burned a whole set. I burned a whole COVID heavy set.
Yeah.
And now like everything. So that was a good. I had about 10 to 12 minutes on just COVID material. Because like when I was coming out of it, I was like I had literally given up on for
life?
for yeah.
Okay,
well, just
yeah,
like
same.
just like giving up on this idea that I was forced to entertain people. But but that's just kind of that was it all in. I don't know. Went through a lot of therapy and came out on the other side. It was like
good.
this is not forced upon me. This is sort of more of a calling.
Yeah.
It's like we were talking. We had another guest on, Andrew Reel, and he's like a psychedelic artist. But he said when you get that inspiration, right, it's like you're catching a frequency rather than like it's like you're just manifesting this out of nothing.
Yeah.
You're catching this frequency like with a song or whatever.
Yeah.
And when you get a good joke and you make that connection, like the just random obscure
I literally
thought.
just got goosebumps thinking about it.
Yeah, you catch that. Yeah, that's you have to listen to the episode because that is actually what you're feeling is there's a word for it.
Like it's like euphoria. Like it's something Like with people who ask me, like, you know, people who don't do comedy and they're like, oh my God. Like, it's, you know, for us, I don't even think about it that much. I'm not like, oh yeah, I'm doing comedy. Like, look at me, big dickin', you know?
Yeah.
But like, I just think of it as like just walking and breathing. I'm like, I'm just doing my thing. Like, there's not a lot of pressure there, but like,
Now
like,
you're along for the ride.
Yeah. But like there are moments when like I'll write either a part of a joke that like I didn't think about before, then I'm like, holy shit. Like there's this one joke, I mentioned it earlier about like the premise of it is like, is it hard for you to pretend that you're choking on a small dick? And like in that bit, I remember one night I was like hammered at this bar, like talking, like saying the joke, and then like for no reason, I put my fingers in my mouth to show that you can still speak when there's not like when you have like inches in your mouth, you know, and like that came out of nowhere.
You did that at Lola's.
Yeah,
that was fun.
It was out of nowhere, and then like I literally after that, like my brain just went. Psh. I was like, oh my God, like that's fucking good. Like I don't know where the fuck that came out, but like that was great.
Yeah.
I'm glad. Yeah.
That shit was funny.
I'm glad.
Hi, how did today?
Yeah. Like, you know, I'm like, how about work? What'd you have for lunch? You know, like.
God, that's funny, dude. Yeah, the act out. That came, I got a joke that was talking about my kids punching me in the dick, and that the act out, you know, sold it. It really does. And then I just added a bunch of tags at the end.
Yeah, well, I mean, like that's like the beauty of it is like what I always tell like new comedians, like you can say the same joke over and over again, you know, but if you're not consistently working, you know, you can say the same joke for years, but if you always tell it the same way, it always gets the same amount of laughs. Like there's no reason to tell the joke anymore. Right. Like if you're gonna say the same thing, that's totally fine. There shouldn't be any judgment for that. But you should have a different cadence, a different like tone, act out. Like you should consistently be changing it, regardless of the words. Yeah. You know, like there's no point in like figuring something out if you're not actually gonna like put in the work to like make it as brilliant as you possibly can.
Yeah, editing, getting into editing your material is always fun. And I think, you know, with a lot of things, you know, you can kind of trust the cliches like brevity is the soul of wit, you know, that whole thing, like keeping it brief, but, you know, keeping the punches rolling. That's it. So let's take a quick break for a message from our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Hey there, gumshoes. Nick Valentine here. Beat on the streets that there's a super secret shindig going down at the Rose Chapel Valentine's Day evening. Bring a lover or find one on the dance floor. That's up to you. Visit rumorsparties.com for more information.
And we're back.
Woohoo!
So tell me, like, who are some of your inspirations in comedy? Like, who's your Rushmore?
So wait, how many do I get?
I think it was Rushmore 4.
4 is it
5?
4? I don't know. I don't know anything about history.
Top. We'll say top 3, possibly 5. Whatever.
Top 3. Okay. I would say like Ali Wong because she's of course a female Asian comedian, which is someone that like of course I look up to.
Right.
Because you guys can't see me, but I'm an Asian woman. That her John Mulaney because he's just phenomenal writer. And then I would also say Dave Chappelle. Just because he's so controversial and he doesn't give a fuck, and I love that. Love that about him.
Yeah, I always say who's on your Mount Rushmore after Chappelle? Like that's how it
after Chappelle then
yeah.
I don't know. Who do I really like? I would say maybe how do you pronounce her? Elijah Schlesinger? Yeah, that's how you pronounce her.
Liza.
Yeah.
Schlesinger.
Yes. Yeah. I like her a lot. I think, like a lot of people wouldn't say her. I like her because she is just such a like her specific style. I couldn't find anywhere else. Like she does like her own characters and everything. And like as a woman, especially in comedy, it's really hard to watch like to see a lot of women who talk about women specific topics and still crush it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you sent me my producer sent me a clip of her the other day. It's funny.
Yeah, I like her.
Talking about Gen Z versus millennials.
Because she's like quirky. Like I fuck with it. She's like completely herself in her own style, and it's hard to do.
Silly shit. I like her. Yeah, dude. So like, what's on the horizon for you? What are you
on the horizon?
What you working on?
Just jokes every day. It's like in the comedy world, it's so non-organized. So like I get put on shows. Like in this last month, I got put on like maybe like 6 shows. I remember like one time I was doing your show, and I had 2 shows in that one night. So it was like back to back. It was for Halloween. Yeah. So like
that's fun.
Yeah, and like I love it, like because right now I don't have anything specifically booked, but like I don't know, in a week from now I could have like 5 things. It's so weird how we do things. I might get a text like in the morning one day and be like, "Hey, can you come out to a show tonight?" I'm like, yeah, I have nothing else going on. Yeah, I'll be there.
I think we should take your idea from when you were in New York and you were super young doing warehouse shows, and we should do a warehouse comedy show.
Yeah, I've been talking to a lot of people because like
EDM.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because like I like regardless of like what your art is, I do have like a lot of friends from all different types of art like backgrounds and worlds.
Yeah.
And like a lot of them have like told me, because like I have friends from rappers, from DJs, like everything, and they've always been like, we should definitely put on like a collaborative show of like comedy and music, and like we could have like a thrift shop at the same time. And I'm like, hell yeah, absolutely. I'm actually trying to like
get them all together. Let's fucking do
that'd
this.
That'd be so cool,
Our powers combined.
You're like a huge like Power Ranger that like all the cars sync up. And you're like, we're now a mega Power Ranger. That's how I kind of see it.
They're called Zords, okay? Jeez.
My bad. But
they are Zords.
Like, I love it because, like, you could have a comedian and then you could have, like, a rug maker in the corner. You're like, this is great. Like, I'm having a good time.
A rug maker?
A rug maker.
With a loom.
You have, like, a tattoo artist in the corner.
That's
and then,
some
like,
hipster
fucking
ass shit, dude.
I love shows like that. Like, I was actually hanging out, like, the other night doing stuff like that. Like, I love doing, like, pop-up, like, weird artistic shit everywhere.
We ran for a long time, for 8 years, we ran, or 7 years, we ran this thing called Fort Worth Rock Assembly. Ooh. And we always just had local businesses get on to help us pay for like shirts and like get the money rolling before the ticket sales. So we'd have like sponsors come in, and one time we had, or a couple times we had a barber come through and like bring out a chair and like touch people up like right there.
That's
dude.
Cool.
Yeah.
Like I love things like that. They're so weird and
awesome.
quirky.
Yeah. That makes it like when you bring out like a cool barber, that's you've reached ultimate hipster status.
Well, I think also like in the community, it's so weird for me as like, because people, like a lot of comedians or just people in general don't think of like comedy as an art form.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, it's stand up, like it's different. Like, no, it's really is just the same fucking thing, like similar lifestyle.
Yeah. I always like to say, oh, really? You do it.
That part. Oh my God.
Fucking Sam Anderson said the same thing. He's like, all comedians wish they were musicians, and all musicians wish they were comedians.
True.
Yeah. All musicians want to be comedians, I think. Some of them got it, but you've never had no? Okay.
You're like, I'm going to stick to my shit over here.
Right. Okay.
But I love meeting people who are like, oh, I want to do comedy.
We'll get you out. We'll get you out to do a type 5.
Oh, you should. I'd show up. Okay. Yeah, I love meeting people who are like, I should do comedy. Like when they meet me, I'm like, okay, like go do it then.
Yeah. Sam, those couple stories Sam told. Remember that?
I wasn't there for that.
Oh yeah, that was right before you. He was like, I'm going to do one every week. And then him and Farella both said they were going to do a spot every week. And they never did it again.
What happened to Fireside Chats?
Yeah, Fireside Chats with Brian Farella. What happened there, Bubba? Yeah, we're like, you doing anything tonight? He's like, I'm going to go up there. I'm going to purposely going to bomb to make all the other comedians look better. I was like, no, they're probably still going to.
Yeah. Still going to bomb.
No, he's not going to bomb. This is your place. That's how I'm going to bring you up. I'm going to tell people to be nice to you because we want to keep doing this show here.
It's really how it works. So you got to baby them so you can, get that binky back.
Got a baby, your baby. Isn't that a country song?
It is.
And now,
Because one day your baby be gone. Because if you don't, one day your baby be gone. That's how it goes. Better baby your baby.
Oh my God.
'Cause if you don't, one day your baby'll be gone.
Okay.
That's the
I think
one.
that's
Is there
fine,
also a
though.
line that's like, maybe your breast milk will be dry? Or some shit like that.
Perfect.
Let's trademark that shit
Okay,
right
done.
now.
Songwriting
Would you
now.
say register? Register?
Yeah.
Like to
Alright,
vote
so-
or?
Yep. Who was the last person you voted for?
Damn, it was not Trump, that's for sure.
We don't have to talk about that. Just change
Oh my God.
course
This
immediately.
is, this is how it should
Just
be.
derail it. I don't know enough about politics.
Me neither.
I poke fun at the stuff that I do know when
Again,
I
I'm
hear
just
something.
a woman.
Yeah, when I hear like really stupid shit like about the QAnon supporters showing up on the grassy knoll, like
Oh my
hundreds of them, I wrote a joke immediately. All right, what do we got time for a piece of advice?
I would say, especially to women out there, whatever you do, whatever you end up wanting to do with your life, whatever fuels your fire, even if you're scared, attack that shit with as much confidence as you can. Because if you love something, if you want to do something, you should put everything into it. Because this is your one chance. Life doesn't ever stop being complicated. And the moment you want to do something, put everything into it. Even if you're scared. Because, again, you don't know if, today, you might die today. You have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
But, like, who do you want to be at the end of the day?
Tomorrow's not a promise,
At all. I don't know what's going to happen tonight. I might leave the studio and then get hit by a car. Like, I don't fucking know, but at least I knew tonight I came out to do something I actually like to do.
Let's burn some sage on that one.
There's wood here. Yeah, I'm knocking on it.
Knocking on it.
But,
Knock, knocking on heaven's door.
Oh, I went in a different direction. It was like, knock, knock, knock on wood.
You better knock on wood. That was way better. Why didn't I just go with that
'Cause,
one?
you're a man.
Idiot.
Yeah, that's my advice.
Yeah, I dig it.
This
yeah,
is
it's
my
like
wisdom.
it's like yeah. A couple things that made me think of that is my buddy Christopher Darden. He was out of the DFW scene by the time you came around, but he moved out to New York and started working as a writer for UCB and shit.
Wow.
And he does all kinds of shit out there. It's pretty cool. But he said something. He was like, have you ever heard the phrase "burn the ships"?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like when Greek warriors or whenever these island countries would sail to some place, once they would get there, they would burn the ships.
Mm-hmm. So there's no turning back, baby.
There's no turning back. There's no retreat, right? So you're all in, burn the ships, and that's what he said right before he left for New York, and now he's writing for
That's
UCB,
good.
and that's cool.
Great.
This has been a very inspiring episode. Thank you for your time.
Oh, thank you guys for having me.
Y'all follow Azure Maravilla. We'll put links on all of this
Woohoo!
to
I'm
all of her
around.
socials. Find her, book her.
Please don't add me on Facebook. I don't fuck that. All right, unless you're my grandmother, don't fucking add me on Facebook. That's just weird.
I added her on Facebook.
Well,
y'all.
yeah. All right. How many times do I see you on Facebook? Never.
Yeah. The Book of Face. Yeah, find her everywhere. This is how we usually end our show. Good night, New York.
For more information on today's podcast and other great unwashed content, visit greatunwashedpodcast.com and follow Ian at Ian Mac Presents.